And before I get into today's topic, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and my subscribers and everyone for supporting my channel. So with that being said, let's get on to today's lecture, which is do not pay your bills based off the algorithm. Do not depend on the algorithms as a YouTube content creator. When your channel becomes monetized, do not pay your bills based off algorithm and a YouTube check, or do not, base your livelihood on the algorithm and a YouTube check. Because real, I'm here to tell you, I've always known the power of multiple streams of income. But if you're out here as a content creator, when your channel becomes monetized and whatever money you make or donate as a content creator, you really do need to see whatever income you make off YouTube. I don't care how big your YouTube channel is. I don't care if you made $10,000 one month or $2,000 one month or $20,000 one month or $100 one month. Do not base paying your bills off the algorithm and you ain't got no other source of income. Because, my channel has been monetized going on 3 years. But I stepped into this game with the mindset because I understand the power of multiple streams of income. I always have. Although I fully retired September of 2023 from state government, I get a couple of pensions, people, for the rest of my life. Military pension from state of North Carolina. I still generate money under my company, utilizing my credential. And when I get old enough, I'm going to sign up for my Social Security. So I understand the power of multiple streams of income. My last 25 years in the workforce, I was made money under my company, simultaneously getting up and going to work every day, utilizing my credentials, generate revenue. Now, since I'm fully retired, I still make money under my company, utilizing my powerful addiction credentials, people, real talk. So, by my channel being monetized, I just view my YouTube check, and I always have. I just view my YouTube check, my monthly YouTube check from YouTube, as another stream of income. That's all it is. I don't base my livelihood, never have, never will, off no one source of income. Real talk. But if you are a content creator and you are only relying on your YouTube check and you ain't got no other source of income, no income from a W-2 job, no income from no kind of retirement, no income from money that you generating from under your company, if you are basing your livelihood off the algorithm in that one YouTube check and you ain't got no other source of income, I don't care how much that money is per month, you are setting yourself up for financial destruction. And I'm going to tell you why. There are many reasons why. Like I said, my channel has been monetized going on 3 years. And anybody who channel is monetized can attest to this. I don't care how much money you make. If you are monetized as a YouTube content creator, that monthly check can vary. It can fluctuate. Real talk. However, your bills and your livelihood is not going to vary and fluctuate. You can do very well financially as a YouTube content creator for several months in a row, and you can also go several months in a row where you're virtually making nothing. Real talk. And that's one of the main reasons why, from a business standpoint, from a strategic standpoint, you should not be basing your livelihood on the algorithm in a YouTube paycheck to pay your bills, to take care of yourself. If you got kids and minor kids, to take care of your kids. As a content creator, when your channel becomes monetized, we get a 1099 at the end of the year to reflect our income for the whole year. So once your channel becomes monetized, you're really considered as an independent contractor by YouTube. By evidence, you're getting that 1099. So if you only just have one source of income and you a 1099 YouTube content creator, understand, the money you're making on a monthly basis, you better make you're using some of that money to pay your federal tax, your state tax. You better make sure you're using some of that money to pay into your Social Security. You better make sure you're using some of that money to purchase your own 401 retirement, so you'll have retirement building. So when you get ready to retire, you'll have a pension, and then you better make sure that you're purchasing your own health insurance, medical insurance, dental insurance for yourself and your kids and everyone in your household who is dependent. If that's your only source of income, as your YouTube check, and we'll consider a 1099 independent contractor. So that means all of that I just rattled off, that's on you. Because YouTube is not your employer. We are considered an independent contractor by evidence that we're getting that 1099 at the end of the year. And that's another powerful reason why you only need to view that YouTube income as another source of income. You're going to need a primary base. You're going to need a primary career, a primary foundation, a W-2 job where you got all your benefits, your medical, you're dealing on your life insurance, your 401 stock options. If you got married kids, when you got a W-2 job, you can put them on your health insurance. This is real talk, people. Because like I said, I fully retired. I get 2 big fat retirement checks for the rest of my life. That includes medical. I get my VA retirement, so I don't ever see a medical bill. I get a retirement check from the state of North Carolina. That comes with medical. I don't ever see a medical bill. I don't have to worry about health care, people, because I paid my dues. So as a content creator, whatever money I make from YouTube on a monthly basis, that's just another stream of income. But make no mistake, I have always knew the power of multiple streams of income. In addition, I'm still making money under my company. I have a home office. I still maintain all my professional credentials. I'm a licensed clinical addiction expert. So like I said, my last 25 years in the workforce, I simultaneously was making money utilizing my credential under my company, Patterson Associates Resource Center. All of this I'm talking about has absolutely nothing to do with my YouTube revenue. Real talk, people. So I tell people, especially if you are a content creator and your channel's monetized, do not base your bills, do not base your livelihood off the algorithm in a YouTube chat. That's why if you pay attention to a lot of these social medias and these content creators becoming on these social media platforms, you see so many of these content creators who are homeless, living in storage sheds, living in their vehicle, but they're publishing content, but they're homeless. And that has become so popularized. And my belief is based off, what I see on these various social media platforms where these homeless content creators are filming their content on these platforms. And my belief is they may have the mindset where I'm not going to work for anybody. I'm not going to work no W-2 job. I'm not going to try to get an LLC and develop myself, enhance myself, improve myself, and get a company going to generate money. I'm not going to do all of that. I just want to be a content creator and get a check from YouTube. But I'm here to tell you, even if your channel is monetized, it still takes a lot of elbow grease, cultivation, nurturing to still propel your channel to a level even beyond monetization, to really begin to earn that YouTube check where the money is significant enough where you can maybe invest that money, build your financial portfolio. But it's still not wise to just let that be your sole source of income. No, your behind still need to have a career somewhere. If you are a content creator, you're behind to make financial sense, to be strategic. Unless your YouTube chat is so astronomically high, and it's been so astronomically high for the past 3 or 4 years where you got some consistency, then I will hope you got a very good financial advisor that you're consulting with. I will hope that you're consulting with a certified public accountant so they can help you set up, make sure that you're paying into your 401, Paying your federal tax, your state tax, paying into your Social Security, purchasing your own 401. You got to align yourself. If when the channel has gotten to the level where it's making so much money, you still need to align yourself with that certified public accountant, with that financial advisor, and the list goes on and on. Real talk, people, because I'm telling you, all you got to do is pay attention to many of these content creators coming on these platforms. They're homeless. They're begging for money. Or they're begging for money because they're telling the world, I'm about to be evicted, I'm about to lose my car, my light's about to be turned off. But I never hear these type of content creators talking about how much effort and energy that they're putting into to going out there and get a full-time job, a W-2 job. You can still be a content creator and do both. Because I'm here to tell you, if you are only relying on a YouTube check and you have no other source of income, you are setting yourself up for financial failure. And if you got minor kids who depend on you, then they're going to need to be taken care of. They're going to need to have medical and dental and life insurance. Real talk, people, is all about accountability and responsibility as a full-grown adult. I'm not saying that you can't be a content creator. What I'm saying is, if your channel is monetized to be strategic and to be wise, you should view that money, that YouTube check, only as another stream of income that'll give you more money to invest into your emergency savings account, invest into your financial portfolio, or to self-fund getting a business off the ground, but while simultaneously you got a full-time W-2 job with benefits so you can take care of yourself and your minor kids if you have any. This is real talk. So again, do not base your livelihood. Do not base paying your bills based off the algorithm in a YouTube check, because that's a recipe for financial destruction. Share this information. The Spirit guided me to touch bases on this again. This is real talk, people. Many content creators really need to hear this. Many content creators are out there doing content on their struggle content in terms of them being homeless, or living out of a storage shed, or living in their car. You just have to ask yourself, do I also have a full-time job? Or better yet, sometimes you may have to have 2 jobs while simultaneously still being a content creator, but at least you have a steady source of income so you can rise above your financial situation versus filming struggle content, or I'm living in my car, or I'm about to be evicted, and the list goes on and on. This is real talk. I have always known the power of multiple streams of income my entire 41 years in the workforce, people. I have worked 41 years of my adult life. In the last 25 years of the 41 years, I simultaneously had my company, Paris and Associates Resource Center, generating revenue, significant revenue outside of my full-time career. So when I fully retired September of 2023, now what that does is free me up to continue to generate money under my company, Paris and Associates Resource Center, where I utilize my powerful addiction licensure to see clients in my home office 2 days out of the week. This is real talk. But make no mistake, I have paid my dues. And my YouTube channel is a little over 5 years old. My channel is going on being monetized. Pretty soon it'll be 3 years. But I stepped into this game with the mindset, whatever money I make as a content creator on a monthly basis, I don't even touch that money. I just reinvest that money into my financial portfolio. Because make no mistake, I do not rely on my YouTube check not to pay one single one of my bills. Real talk. I don't base my livelihood off a YouTube check. Never have, never will. I have never based my livelihood off no one income, not even in my 41 years of working, in my 41 years of adult life or working in the workforce. I have never based my livelihood off one income. I have always had multiple streams of income all the way up until I retire. And that's how you begin to build your financial portfolio. That's how you can begin to see your financial portfolio investing into your stocks and etc., your emergency savings account, traveling abroad debt free. Real talk, people. And I continue, even in full retirement, I continue to have multiple streams of income. My retirement income, got a couple of retirement incomes, about to have three in a hot minute. Money I generate under my company, Parents and Associates Resource Center, the sales of my book, my revenue from the sales of my book, Awake Financial Freedom, and my income from my YouTube channel. So I still, even in full retirement, understand the power of multiple streams of income, real talk. But most importantly, I do not base my livelihood off the algorithm or a YouTube check in any shape, form, or fashion, real talk. So share this information. Some content creators really do need to hear this, because like I said, it's becoming so popular on all of these platforms, all of them, where you got a lot of these content creators coming in front of these platforms begging for money, struggle content, content in regards to getting evicted, or living in a car, or living in a storage shed, or the car about ready to get repossessed, or the lights, about ready to be cut off. But I never really hear them discuss and go into detail in regards to physically how many jobs they have physically went out there and to apply for, or hitting that pavement, because that's ways to apply for jobs that old-fashioned way. You got to get out there and you got to go to these companies and present yourself and get yourself a job, and that YouTube income be just another stream of income. And then begin to master your money, to control your money, and build your emergency savings account, and build your financial portfolio, so you can rise above the situation that you're in terms of if financial destruction applies to you, so you're going to rise above that. But again, like I said, do not depend on the algorithm to pay your bills or for your livelihood as a content creator if your channel is monetized. That's all I have. Simple fidelity, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.